Hi class, welcome back. In this mini lecture, I'm going to discuss about your next assignment, which is the significant speech. I'm aware that the speech itself is not going to be due until next week, but this week you're going to submit your topic proposal as well as your outline proposal. So it's a good thing for us to walk through the assignment so that you're more familiar and you know what to expect. So the purpose of this assignment is basically two things, twofolds. One is for you to be able to point out a speaker that you admire and a speech that resonates with you on a personal level. So the speaker and the speech should have that personal connection to you. And then the second one is you need to be able to showcase your ability to analyze that speaker and the speech using the 5 canons of rhetoric. And I hope by now you're so familiar with what 5 canons of rhetoric is that I don't actually need to explain it to you again. So in the instruction, I say that please do not choose a speaker and a speech that is so popular because everyone knows it, but choose someone and a speech that matters to you. So for example, I say do not choose Dr. Martin Luther King's speech, I Have a Dream, if you do not have any personal connection with the speaker and or the speech. So that personal connection becomes something that I highlight in this assignment. And then the next part is make sure your speaker delivered the speech in front of an audience and that the whole speech was recorded and the video is available on the internet. And that you must include the link to the speech in your speech outline. This is key. And this is because I will not be able to assess your analysis if I cannot watch the presenter giving the speech. Yeah. So if the link does not show any feasible proof that the speaker was delivering the speech in front of an audience, your speech will not be graded and you will receive 0 for the assignment. So I think this is a very important part of the assignment that many of my students at the beginning tend to struggle with because they have this person that they really admire and they have watched it once, but they do not have any recording of it, for instance. And I would say, unfortunately, you would have to choose a different speaker and a speech because I too want to watch the speaker and the speech. So make sure that you are able to find the recording of it on the internet, and that you provide the link to it so that I can access it. And the way you're going to organize your speech, sorry, it says here is the paper. No, this is actually a speech. Is that you're going to have to introduce the speaker and the speech that she or he gave, explain why both the speaker and the speech matters to you. You should include a personal story if that helps build your case of why the speech and the speaker matters to you. And take time to elaborate your explanation because you don't forget to mention when and where the speech was given. I can give you an example. So for instance, for me, a speaker that is very significant for me is Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She is the author of novels, including Americana, which is one of my favorite novels of all time. And the reason why I admire her speech, which is The Danger of Single Story, that was given in a TED Talk, I think it was way back in 2013, is because there she talked about the danger of stereotyping, basically. When we hear only one story over and over and over again, that becomes the only story about that group of people that you know. And so in this world, unfortunately, it is unfair because some people get to tell their stories from multiple perspectives. So you know that you will not, be able to stereotype this group of people because you get to hear so many stories about that group of people. But other group of people do not have that same opportunity. And so sadly, the stories that you hear about them are only the stories that get to be repeated on the mass media, for instance. And Chimamanda Adichie's, went into details talking about how, for instance, the stories of immigrants in the U.S. becomes the story of, unfortunately, people who are, depicted as negative group of people instead of people who are basically heroes who help build this nation, for instance. So it's very important for us to expose ourselves to multitude of stories so that we don't get, easily stereotype a group of people. And we understand because we read the chapter in our textbook how our brain works and how it is very common for our brain to just stereotype and organize information in a way that makes sense to us. And so being able to watch that video actually means a lot to me, especially since moving to the US and then becoming an immigrant, has helped me understand how I'm being perceived and how I should be able to tell my stories and educate myself and also educate other people around me so that they don't, see immigrants as only this one person, for instance. So that can be an example of how you want to talk about why a speaker and why speech matters to you. And then in the body that you will speak for 3 to 4 minutes, you need to analyze the speaker and the speech based on the 5 canons of rhetorics. Yeah. So you talk about the invention, the topic of the speech that she or he discussed. You talk about the organization, for instance, or the arrangement. You talk about the use of memory, how she or he presents the speech, for instance. So you can also include elements from Aristotle's 3 persuasive appeals, which is ethos, logos, and pathos, only if the speech is persuasive speech. If the speech is an informative speech, you don't need to use Aristotle's 3 persuasive appeals. Yeah. And then in the conclusion that you are going to speak for 60 to 90 seconds, I want you to wrap up your analysis and don't forget to close it with a quote or a personal story that highlight the importance of the speaker and the speech to you. All right. I have written there that the speech should be between 5 to 7 minutes long and that the speech should be, within that limit, so that if you're going under or over it, unfortunately, I would have to deduct 10 points of your grade. So make sure that you're aware and make sure that you're, manage your time wisely. Okay. That's it for the significant speech. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me and I'll be more than happy to answer all of your questions. Thanks, everyone.